What's going on, beautiful people? It is I, your flying locomotive and faster than a speeding boat, SuperCliff, coming at you live with a brand new video. So for today's video, I want to talk about the new House of the Dragon Season 2 trailer, which was released over the weekend, along with every other trailer to ever exist. And oh boy, this one's a good one. So make sure you like and subscribe, and don't be selfish because that stuff really helps out. House of the Dragon Season 1 was easily my favorite show of 2022. Now, I'll admit, I wasn't excited for the series when it first got announced. As was the case for many people, I was definitely jaded after watching Season 8. Genuinely, I was shocked with how Season 8 happened. The writing behind it, the lack of care, coffee cups showing up in the background, the editing and the pacing decisions, just a complete lack of effort was made, especially from a writing standpoint. And you could tell that David and Dan, the showrunners, they were done. They wanted to move on. Basically, Season 8 left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And given the fact George is for some reason unwilling to finish Winds of Winter, I was done with Westeros.
Burn it.
I didn't care that a prequel series about the Targaryen dynasty was coming out. Sure, I read Fire&Blood and I enjoyed it, but in the end, I couldn't allow myself to get excited. For my bleeding heart just couldn't take the risk of getting hurt again. However, once the first episode dropped, I immediately was sucked back into this world of politics, this place filled with murder and betrayal, where trust goes to die. So yeah, I felt pretty much at home. House of the Dragon was incredible, but it wasn't because of the dragons, the epic battles, or the subverting of one's expectations. It was the writing. House of the Dragon was amazing because of the characters, and the show took its time to educate us into knowing who these characters were. And because of it, we were invested. We understand what motivates Rhaenyra. We know why Damien's a dick, why King Viserys was so prone to looking away from problems rather than facing them. House of the Dragon did exactly what the earlier seasons of Game of Thrones did so well. They made us believe in this world, the geopolitical landscape of Westeros, the social expectations of what it is expected for people with positions of great power. But more importantly, they got us into believing these characters. Now, I will say this, and this is just something that I do in order to keep myself, sane. When it comes to epic worlds containing vast histories, like House of the Dragon or something like Star Wars, I tend to erase sections of lore that I don't like. For example, I hate the Star Wars sequel trilogy. However, within my own headcanon, I've convinced myself that episodes 7 through 9, because they're so distant from things like the original trilogy or the Clone Wars, basically anything post Return of the Jedi to me doesn't exist. And honestly, I'm much happier because of it. And it's the same thing with House of the Dragon. Because the earlier Game of Thrones seasons really nailed seasons 1 through 4, essentially perfecting an on-screen book adaptation of books 1 through 3, I tell myself that everything past season 4 doesn't exist. And because I do that, House of the Dragon, though already good, is even better. But anyways, I saw the trailer and I loved it. There's really not much to say about it other than the fact that if you liked season 1 of House of the Dragon, then you're clearly going to enjoy this, new season. Now, I also want to point out something that House of the Dragon Season 1 did extremely well, along with what I saw in Season 2's trailer, and that is the world building. I love seeing all the different pieces of art, the various house sigils. It's not just the Targaryen symbols we're seeing, or the popular ones like House Lannister and House Stark. We're also seeing the High Towers, House Darkland of Duskendale, House Stokeworth, House Bracken, House Rosby. It just reminds us that this world is occupied by many houses, not just the great ones. It was unfortunate like that in the later seasons of Game of Thrones. They were like, yeah, Targaryen, Lannister, Stark, yeah, those are the good ones. Who cares about the rest? Whereas in prior seasons, especially when you had Robb Stark's camp, you saw all the northern houses together. It's basically just adding meat to this world and it fills in my nerdy needs. Also, for those of you who read, Fire&Blood, with the death of Lucerys in the season finale, I really hope we get some messed up payback, blood and cheese specifically. Yeah, there's some crazy shenanigans caused by Damien following Lucerys' death, and so I really want to see that happen because it's just pure insanity. Oh yeah, and by the way, DaemonTargaryen is MVP hands down. I will combat anyone who disagrees, and I am 1000% Team Black. Overall, I'm excited for Season 2. I'm excited to return to this world of Westeros. The passion, the hatred the characters have for each other, I want to see it played out, and luckily in terms of the show as a whole, unlike in the main series, A Song of Ice and Fire, where the last 2 books have yet to be finished, if you've read Fire&Blood, then you know how this show goes down, and so too do the showrunners. Plus, George, in terms of writing, is much more involved in the show, than he was in the later seasons of Game of Thrones. Fortunately, House of the Dragon, in terms of beginning to end, is in a great spot, and who knows, maybe House of the Dragon, when everything is all said and done, maybe it's able to trump Game of Thrones as a superior series. So yeah, as always, I'm your majestic sayer over at SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also the notification bell so you'll never miss out on an upload, and so you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite news and updates happening in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on the trailer? Are you guys excited for Season 2? Oh, and by the way, moving forward, I'm going to be doing less comic book reviews. I'll still do reviews for comics like Superman Action Comics, World's Finest, and Mortal Thor, but I'm also going to try and do different stuff. More video essays regarding Superman Legacy, maybe talk about some fantasy books. So yeah, fun stuff coming down the pipeline for sure. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts and whatnot. And until the next video, peace. Giggity goo.